Good morning,
Yosef. What is this thing in the parasha that in the parasha when the man or woman has something, semen or something, we have to dip in and out. It looks like all your life you have to bring birds and so much obligation for these things.
It's only for women gives birth.
No, but the thing that comes, the liquid that comes from men's or women's.
This is not sperm.
Including sperm,
this is what you say. Listen to what I say. It's not sperm. If you have sperm come out of your body 88 times in a year, that's what the mikveh you're out. It's only a special thing that's called ziva, which happened at the time of the Gemara. See, he was under the impression that Kerry, which is sperm, it's totally different.
Well,
if you look at the Chumash, David, you have to, Joseph, you have two names. Tumat Kerry. You go to the mikveh, it's over. It's over the next night. Nothing happens even that day. If, I don't know the name, the English name of ziva, something different than sperm comes out, then if it goes more than 2 or 3 days, then you have to count a man or woman 7 clean days, and then they have to bring a korban. But otherwise, so it was not a very common.
So we don't have it nowadays?
Right. It doesn't, right there. No, but he's right. If you read the Chumash, Joseph is right. It sounds the same, but if you pay attention, Joseph, pay attention to the words. I'll show you in a minute. Good morning. Look, we're back to Parashat Tazria Metzorah. We stopped in the middle. Yesterday was Yom HaShoah, so please look a second. Perek Tet. Dear Joseph, look at the. I took out the.
Where are we? I'm sorry.
No, we have Perek Tet, Sefer Tahara, Hilchot Tumat Zarat, Perek Tet.
The Tumat Keri is Rabbanan, generally.
Or what?
Tumat Keri.
It's not Torah. If you go to Beit HaMikdash, it's called.
Beit HaMikdash. Okay.
If you're a Kohen, it's Tumah. If you cannot eat korban, otherwise there are no restrictions. Joseph, look a second and 6:32 on a woman.
Tumat Zarat.
Look a second on the Pasuk Chafei. Be'isha ki yazuv zov dama yamim rabim belo ha'et nidata. From the first time Joseph, a woman got her period, she had to have a calendar. In the calendar, she has to write. The first time she saw, she's labeled Nida for 7 days, but the 7th day she goes to the mikveh. But here, Yazuv Zov Dama Yamim Rabim Belo Ha'et Nidata. If she continues bleeding after the 7 days, this is 11 days between, then she has to bring a korban. You understand? But this is.
How often does this happen?
I don't know if there are any statistics.
But our wives, when they had 7 days and plus
because
5.
Today we don't know exactly. Because today we don't know exactly what is labeled Nida, what is, because no one counts. Remember, in the time of the Talmud, first time in her life, when she got her period, she had to constantly count. 7-11.
Right. It's not regularly. It's not always regularly.
You have to learn a lot to see it. You have to establish a pattern. You have to the first 3 times, the first 4 times, because Eli is right. Today we don't know by a woman, by a man.
But woman knows we are keep treating them as a zat because you have to count 7 clean days.
No, but
as opposed to Torah tells us to count 7.
No, but Joseph was right also. By a man also, if he's a zav, he needs 7 clean days.
We even know a man who's a zav nowadays. We don't know.
This is what
I
was starting to tell Joseph. Today we don't know exactly what is labeled as carrier, what is zav. By a woman, the fact that she is bleeding. Anyway, look a second in Rambam Sefer Tahara, Hilchot Tumat Zarat. Here, David, here you have it.
Something like that. How can it disappear and not known after
Nothing disappeared. Thank God we don't know because we don't have korbanot anyway.
Right.
Remember, Joseph, today you are a Kohen. You're not eating Truma. I'm a non-Kohen. I never go to Beit HaMikdash. Today, for men, it doesn't make any halachic difference. In the time of the Beit HaMikdash, right? If the men didn't want to eat korban, or if you're not a Kohen, to a man, it didn't make any difference. The woman, because of relationship with her husband. I mean, imagine Joseph every month, the wife of a Kohen couldn't serve food. It was given to her husband as teruma. Yeah? She had to be very careful.
They had 4 wives.
So look a second in fact. Look at first in Halacha Hey. You have it Perek Tet, Halacha Hey. Halal, this is one of these, only the Rambam can do it because it's a Mishnah, but it's mind-boggling. The Perek Tet, Halacha Hey, Mitumat Zarat. Halal, Pasul Le'Reyat Negaim. If you remember last time, we learned that even if a Kohen is a minor, he's 6 years old, he doesn't know black or white. But if a scholar tells him, listen, I'm looking at this man and he really has leprosy, say to him, Tameh. Yeah, Tameh. It's the only time, Mel Cohen was right there. It's the only time in Halacha that you take the answer is it's not an opinion. Understand? Opinion cannot be made by a minor. Opinion cannot be made by a legally not normal human being. This is not an opinion. Now, here the Rambam says to us, halal, which means
Pashut, isn't this Pashut?
oh, so you like that? So the Rambam says halal, a Kohen that was born, a fellow who was born to a father who is a Kohen and the mother is divorcee, is legally halal. So halal means he doesn't have a trace of being a Kohen. So the Rambam says he cannot make a decision, he cannot declare this fellow is Tameh or Tahor. So Eli is asking, it's obvious. But because we saw before Eli that there are certain leniencies.
You mean on the Katan?
On the Katan, you saw leniencies. I mean, between me and you, if you check the DNA, yes, the DNA of a Kohen.
No, I understand, but for everything else, he's not a Kohen.
No, but remember, today in the make-believe Judaism that we have, people have till Aaron HaKohen, I can tell you if not. You cannot tell me what happened in the last 1800 years. Yes. So he's but of course Eli is right, it's obvious, but the reason he has to be written is Halal Pasul Reyat Nedarim and the Gaim. So nega, remember the nega is a skin disease or a disease in the hair. Sheneemar echad mibanav. See, you need a pasuk for that. You need a pasuk. Sheneemar echad mibanav hakohanim. It says ubata el Aaron hakohen. Oel echad mibanav. Listen to the yuk and the pasuk. What is banav hakohanim? A child of Aaron is a kohen. No. Only if he might be a child of a Kohen, but he's not a Kohen. You need a pasuk for that. Now, another halacha. Aval ba'alei mumin keshirim. It is. If the Kohen has a physical damage, missing a finger, he cannot serve in Beit HaMikdash. He cannot serve by the Mizbeach, but he's 100% Kohen. אבל בעלי מומין כשרים לנריית נגעים ובלבד, listen to this, שלא יהיה סומה ואפילו באחת מעיניו. If he's blind, even in one eye, why is that? שהרי
See, even though he's relying on the mumche, on an expert, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's a little bit of that's why he has to say it.
This is why the Rambam had to write in the same halacha. Look how expert the Rambam is. He writes him halacha. He's asking, who cares if the Kohen cannot see? Basically, it is a puppet. Exactly. The answer is, but you have to be legally a Kohen with the ability to. ואפילו כהן שכהה אפילו כהן שכהה מאור עיניו. He's not blind, but he doesn't have a perfect vision. לא יראה את הנגעים, בסילאי שנאמר, בפסוק זה, בכל מראה, עיני הכהן, מראה, the Kohen has to have a vision on what he's looking at.
So Kohen that wears glasses today?
I know, it's a good question. You know, some people, Joseph, when they get an aliyah, I mean, at least I used to see them when I was young.
Yeah.
Used to take off their glasses
to see the
order of the Torah.
Well, it depends on the type of vision. Some people have the glasses.
Obviously, if you have a 9.
No, besides far-sighted and nearsighted. Some people who don't wear glasses or wear glasses need to take them off to read.
Okay, I take off my glasses. I can't read the words from here. So then I would, if I was Kohen, I would be hard to.
It's an interesting question. I'm sure.
So, Rabbi, a Kohen that cannot speak, will it be effective?
Oh, interesting question.
Because you can't declare.
The Rambam did not mention an interesting question.
And can he declare it in writing?
Yes. So this is the question. Can he declare if last night I wrote down the Sfirat HaOmer, I didn't speak out. Is it good or not? Of course, I'm saying it. There's a discussion on it. It's a general question: is ketiva, kedibur or not? If I write down, I swear, but I'm a serious guy, not. I swear that so and so, and I'm not following what I said.
Yeah.
Right? As a result, chayav, yes, ketiva is kedibur. But interesting, David, this is an interesting question.
Otherwise, how could you write a will? I mean,
No.
Well, you can't say it.
It's a contract.
Everyone is happy. When it comes to money, you don't ask a question like this. No, but Be'emet, he's asking, it's not that you wrote it. If you dictate or if you write and you tell people, look, so and so should be, it counts. But the two witnesses, they have to see that you're serious.
Generally, when you're studying, very often if you write it, it's more retain it.
Really
It's better than if you just heard it or said it.
But you see, David, see, the Rambam told us only blind. So obviously, the Rambam is hinting that if you're mute, you're fine, which means you have to bring a proof from it, that declaring Tameh by writing, whoa, this should be written somewhere. It's a nice diuk in the Rambam. Yeah. Okay. So the next one we saw already in a second. Let's see it again just. Vav. Ein roim et hanegayim ela bayom has to be observed during the day. Ela bayom bein להסגיר, bein להחליט, bein לפטור. Regardless if it looks like very serious, regardless if it's only an observation, it has to be. שהרי בכל עניין הוא אומר, the Torah repeats again and again, ביום וביום. ואין רואים, we said it already last time yet, שאחרית not
too early.
Yes, ולא בין הערביים, ולא בתוך הבית, ולא ביום המולה. Cannot be a cloudy day, cannot be in the house, cannot be when the sun is strongly shining, cannot, okay, fine. So the Rambam continues and he says, skip like 2 lines. Look in Zion. בכל יום רואים את הנגעים, חוץ משבת ביום טוב. חל יום שביעי שלא להיות בשבת. What happened if the 7th day of the Metzorah and he has to be visited again by the Kohen for the Shabbat? מעבירים לאחוריו. מעבירים לאחוריו means you go back.
Oh, אחריו.
What does that mean?
So Friday.
ויש בדבר להקל ולהחמיר.
but why is that? What about a Re'iyah? Is Re'iyah a malacha on Shabbat that you can't?
The question is it din min Torah you're asking or min Rabbanan? Yes?
No, isn't that he looks the Kohen looks at it on Friday, declares it, then on Shabbat he goes to the mikveh, like what? Or does he cut it by one day?
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
And that means it started on a Shabbat? It's the 7 days?
Look a second. Look at second. Look at second in the Kesef Mishneh. You see Kesef. Look at the Kesef Mishneh. Halacha Yud. אין רואים את הנגעים אלא ביום, בתורת כהנים, this is מדרש הלכה, בפרק כמה דמועד קטן, ומה שכתב ואין רואים לא בשחית, skip like to, I'm sorry, look at הלכה זין, בכל יום רואים את הנגעים, חוץ משבת, שם במשנה, אצל משנה, ואין רואים בשבת ומשמע לרבינו דהו הדין ליום טוב. יום טוב is the same. ולעניין חול המועד, הפליגו במשנה, איזה מחלוקת עם המשנה, ומשמע להלכה כחכמים דאמרי, אפילו בחול המועד הם רואים. Even in חול המועד, the Kohen is not checking.
What about Rosh
חול המועד is 100 times Rosh Chodesh. חול המועד is the holiday, with some leniencies. Rosh Chodesh is not an holiday, but there are certain restrictions or halachot or korbanot.
They were saying people shouldn't. Some people say don't take haircuts for Rosh Chodesh.
Many people say. Umashma halacha kechachamim. Okay.
They're giving us the reason.
Okay, but do we have a word?
What's the underlying reason for it? What does Bri'iyah have?
Great minds think alike.
I'm going. Eli.
So, Rabbi, if somebody feels he's suspicious of he's having this.
It's meaningless until the Kohen looks
So meanwhile,
tells him
he has to wait until it's declared, even though it could be
correct,
do or
correct,
day or 2 or 3. He has to wait. What does he do in the interim? Just nothing. He's a regular.
This is 2 days ago. I told Joseph, this is the proof that Professor Hoffman brings. This is not a contagious disease. Because otherwise, you have to isolate yourself right away. And we're going to, I'm pretty sure it's Minat Torah, but I'm just looking, okay, if there's not, okay, forget. By tomorrow, I'll have the answer. I mean, I have to look at the Gemara. I didn't look.
So until he's declared, he's a regular citizen.
Yeah.
Here, look a second in Halacha Chet. Chatan, here.
Oh.
Chatan doesn't mean he's engaged, he's married. Chatan שנראה בו נגע, נותנים לו כל שיבת ימי המשתה.
Oh.
You know, Dr. Professor Hoffman was tremendous Talmid Chacham in Berlin. He's using this halachot to prove that this is not a contagious disease. If it is, you're Chatan, hundreds of people are coming to your wedding.
You have to be secluded.
No,
he's not.
He's not. No, obviously. וכן אם נראה בבגדיו and the garments of the חתן או בביתו in his house, אין רואים אותו until the 7 days. וכן ברגל on the holiday נותנים לו כל ימות הרגל, שנאמר, this Rambam. וציווה הכהן ופינו את הבית. If a disease was seen on the wall, listen carefully. With the Kohen, before he comes in, he says, clear the house. Why? Because if I come in and I declare that this is a contaminated house, everything is tameh. What do you mean? Everything is tameh.
The declaration is that.
The declaration is what makes it. So if you take it before out, yes.
Can't you do it yourself before the
No.
Take the plaster out and get rid of it.
No, but you said.
It'll come back.
We're talking about furniture. Stuff.
אם המתינה לוקה דרמב"ם concludes. לוקה דרמב"ם concludes. אם המתינה תורה, אם המתינה תורה לדבר הרשות שלא יתאמו כליו, if the Torah, the Chumash says, we are trying to save your furniture, your garments, דבר הרשות means it's not holy. קל וחומר זה דבר מצווה. You understand? You hear what I said? If the Torah gives you permission to save your bed, your dishes, your table, I mean, can you imagine it? I mean, we don't think about it, but Chas v'shalom, someone drops dead in a house, right? all the utensils have to be dipped in the mikveh. Here the Torah is telling him, let the Kohen stay outside and remove everything out of the house, just in case the house is going to be declared. So said the Rambam, Kal v'chomer, when it comes to a mitzvah like a chatan. Okay, now to what about the Bar Pele? Listen carefully. Okay. And now, I'm going to show you a few interesting halachot, and then we'll go to the Haftarah.
So if somebody has it's this problem, and he has, I don't know, the time they had tefillin in the house, and he didn't take it out.
Tefillin doesn't become tameh because tefillin is not intense. What becomes tameh is a fork, a knife, a bed, a garment, everything that is declared halachically as a tefillin is tefillin. As a matter of fact, I read once, it's a very interesting question. In Yerushalayim, this is old, I'm sure today also, but you had a special hospital for people with leprosy. Because, if you go in, you never go out, it never cure. The question was, a religious guy had it. Is he allowed to bring the tefillin with him? Because if you died, they burn everything that belongs to you. It was considered so contaminated. Fascinating case. It means he doesn't know if he's going to be there a half a year or 2 years, but he never leaves the place. Neither he.
They never leave. They never survive. So therefore, his possessions are going to be burned.
Right. The rabbi said yes, but because he's a religious guy, Rabbi Levin convinced the doctors that he would bury. Right? He says, "I would bury it for me. Put it in a plastic bag, double wrap it, whatever, and I'll bury it." And I'll tell you why it's interesting. The story is a fascinating story. There was a funeral of a fellow, and someone noticed that Rabbi Levin was a very respected rabbi. In the middle of the funeral, he's buying a flower pot. Very strange. He comes to him and he says, this is a good friend of yours. Says to him, I promised the doctors to bury it, and he died today, which means by tomorrow I'm buying to bury it. It's an amazing story if you realize it. It's not even the tefillin, if you hear. So if to burn lo yamutar, here at least you obviously the garments are being burned out. Now listen to.
The guy has 2 homes.
No.
The home. No,
the nega is on the wall. It's not your possessions. The nega is on the wall.
He might need to bring the Kohen to the second house just in case.
Depends how much he spoke.
Depends where he spoke. Sometimes it look and sometimes it deal.
Is there a source that this has to do with Lashon Hara other than Miriam? No. Was it in these two patriot? Is there a connection?
Eli is asking, why is the source?
I mean, we know Miriam, we have a source there.
We see at the end of the here.
We have the birds are looking.
Okay, keep your finger here. Keep your finger here. Go all the way. If you have the regular Rambam, go to page 101. No, by you it's 101. Go to 101.
Which is where, Rabbi Prague?
Perek Tetzayin.
In
Ilchot Tumat Sarat. You remain in the same topic.
Okay.
Perek Tetzayin. Okay. Halacha Yud. The obvious question, of course, is Joseph raised before on a different halakha. How come we don't see it today? I mean, as a matter of fact, I went the first time to Majdanek. Majdanek is a concentration camp, but still. So they showed you on the walls of the gas chamber. It was not the gas chamber, but on the wall, you can still see residue of. I mean, so the tour guide said, look, the same as Tzaraat, never goes away. It's 85 years ago, and you can still residue of there, whatever. Look at the Rambam. Hatzarat, Shem, remember Tzaraat, Shem Ha'amur B'Shutfut. It's a general label. Kolel Inyanim Arbeh, She'ein Domim Zeh Lazeh. Okay, says he gives an example. The skin disease is different than the hair, etc., etc. But the main point is like this. Go now in the Rambam, then in your walls, in your garments, v'zeh hashinu. You see the second line at the end? Second line at the end, yes? V'zeh hashinu.
It's you.
Yeah.
Oh, here, there's you.
וזה השינוי, look carefully what the Rambam says. וזה השינוי האמור בבגדים ובבתים, שקראתו תורה צרת, אינו ממנהגו של עולם. It's not part of nature. אלא אות ופלא היה בישראל. There was a certain time that Hashem openly, so to say, created a wonder כדי להזהירן מלשון הרע.
No, I meant to source in this shot.
Okay, so the Gemara says, זו תורת המצורע, מצורע מוציא שם רע. אבל לא כתוב בפירוש, רק גילה ישראל.
No, but we have in
except Miriam. Here the Rambam says here, שהמספר בלשון הרע, משתנות קירות ביתו. First, you see a sign on your walls. אם חזר בו, if it changes, נטהר הבית. אם עמד ברשעו, he continues, excessive type of לשון הרע, עד שהוטץ הבית, until the wall of the house was taken apart, משתנים כלי האור שבביתו, the leather garments, sofa, עד שהוא יושב ושוכב עליהם. אם חזר בו, so the Rambam basically is saying there was a period of time that the Jewish people were on a much higher level of expectations, or so then it's finished.
So what's the definition of Lashon Hara? Obviously it's not the thing that we think today. There will be no house left. Everything will be destroyed.
It's the opposite that Rabbi told us the other day. Wow.
Joseph, many years ago, many years ago, I had a fellow in my Daf Yomi, we were learning Gemara Erchin. The Gemara is 2 pages on Lashon Hara, and you know the Gemara really.
It's not what we.
So the guy says to me like you, says, I think Gemara doesn't talk about us.
And we're good.
I started to laugh, and it was double in my age, but I started to laugh. Today, Hashem is not. Hashem.
At that time, if it was so, there would be no house.
The answer is the people. Joseph, the answer is that, first of all, how is it possible? Because if you grew up in a village all your life, yes?
No social media.
No social media, yes? And you didn't hear your parents always say, did you see what the neighbor bought? Today, with the second, everyone knows everything right away. You're supposed to...
Fiddle on the roof.
Just like the
They used to cast the balls.
Exactly, hear what Eli says. Eli says the same as not Sotah. The Ramban by Sotah says it openly. The Ramban says this concept that a woman drinks it, you erase something, she drinks it and her body blows up. So the Ramban says openly, when Eli says these 2 punishments are the only places in the Torah that something happens not normal. But all the regular diseases, accidents, this is part of the world, we know. I mean, at least we assume.
We think we know.
So at the time, the society was at a much higher level. Therefore, these were the exceptions, real exceptions rather than the rule, and they were there to give a message to the people. But today, everything became so corrupt. Who knows what's normal anymore?
But again, it's the way it's the way we are raised. Of course. We have a teacher by us, Rabbi. He's a teacher, he's a rabbi of the community. He was walking 3 days before the holiday, was struck by a car. Fell. So I told him the driver stayed. He said the driver couldn't run away because I was lying on the street. Anyway, Baruch Hashem is fine, but he has tremendous pain in his back. He's walking with a cane. We're good friends. So I told him, I had a fellow in my shul. When I knew him, he was 80. So he was a student of the Chafetz Chaim. He used to say like this. The Chafetz Chaim used to say there are 2 types of jail in the world. There is a jail, what we know, a jail. You a crook, you stole, you do that. Over there you have guards, and the hospital is also a jail. without guards. Without guards. What is a hospital? A hospital is a place you have to be alone for. You're stuck for 2 weeks. I mean, we are afraid to look at it this way. This is what the Rambam is.
It's a type of jail.
Then the Rambam brings Miriam, you know. Okay, let's go back. Maybe we'll come back to. I just want to show you another piece of that in Tanakh.
For both. Jail. Yeah.
No, Joseph, what he really means is, remember, we do see strange types of tragedies and accidents. We look at it, okay, it's a freak accident, not freak. There is a reason, the underlying reason for everything. We cannot pinpoint why.
And what Ronnie was saying about the society being a different level. I mean, when we look to the history, I don't know if it was ever a period that people were all pure and everything like that. Every time that...
Let's take the state of Israel, which we all cherish and like. In the 20s, when the first Aliyot began, people came. People that didn't keep Shabbat, yes, but they really, everyone respected them. But people were very civil to each other. Very, not civil, very civil. They were crazy. You have to leave a good job in order to come to work. Everyone understood. We have a homeland, we have a dream. Okay, I disagree with you. It is not.
From what I read, it was a big mahloket before Ben Gurion that they wanted to please the religious people. They were big mahloket, people who wanted to.
Before Ben Gurion, the mahloket began. Okay, depends how you're raised. Right? Ben Gurion was a socialist. Then you had the communists. Then you had the Begin's people, the Lechi and Etzel. They looked at the mission of today. 80 years later, we see the fruits of.
In general, there's always difference in human nature, but society. When I was a kid, I remember you can't wear a hat in a public building. You had to take your hat off before you go into a government building. Crazy.
But today also, in courthouse, you cannot have a hat.
So what I'm saying, but society was such a way. I was taught in school, make sure you hold the door for the person behind you. Who's holding doors today? Society changed. And now it's for social media 10 times worse. So with our current president, the rhetoric changed dramatically.
From New York to Jersey, you see a difference.
Yeah, people.
Of course,
people.
It's very easy to see when out of town. And out of town, every girl that goes out with the out of town boy, it's exactly, she's meeting a different guy. The boys from Toronto, from Montreal, from these places.
I remember I took my late sister to hospitals. So we did hospitals in New York, we did a hospital in Pittsburgh. Oh, Pittsburgh, the nice, the courteous, the patient with you, nobody's in a rush, nobody has attitude, everybody's pleasant. It's a different world.
Go back to Perek Yud. Look now on restrictions. We never pay attention when we read the text, but then I'm going to take you to Tanakh. Look at Vav. Mitzvah taseh שיהיה המצורע המוחלט. מוחלט means if he was declared definitely a מצורע, מכוסה ראש, his head has to be covered all the time, כל ימי חילוטו, ועוטה על שפם כאבל, he's not allowed to have a haircut, ופורם בגדיו, the garment he's wearing has to be torn, like Rahman al-Islam we do in Aveilut.
Where are you reading now, Rabbi Prague?
I'm reading it.
Thank you.
We went back to the previous Perek Yud al-Chava.
Gotcha.
הוא מודיע העוברים עליו שהוא טמא. Here, Joseph, שנאמר בהצהרוע שבו נגע הצהרת. He has to notify people. You know why he looks strange? Because I have a leprosy. Why? Because you should go away from it. Learn from here.
So this man is out and about.
Wait a minute. So
right, he's not hiding.
Jack is asking a question. If the man is supposed to be out of community, who is he declaring it?
That's why he's covering.
Let's wait. אפילו כהן גדול שנצטרע, if the כהן גדול פורע ופורם, שהסד אוכל אותה, he's not allowed to wear his garments, fine. Now listen to this. ואסור בשאלת שלום, you cannot say hello to people, כאבל, שנאמר ועל שפם יעטה, שיהיו שפתיו דבוקות. Your lips have to be glued. אבל קורא ושונה ודורש. You can learn for yourself. ואסור לספר haircut ולכבס is not allowed to wash. If you realize many of the halachot of Avirut are coming from there. ונוהג בכל הדברים האלה אילי אפילו בשבת ויום טוב. Unlike our Avirut where we stop for Shabbat and Yom Tov, here the idea is a message to him and to others. והרי הוא מותר ברחיצה, but to wash, just, this is, ובשיחה בנעילת הסנדל ובתשמיש המיטה. Unlike a veil in the 7 days, it cannot wash, cannot wear, shoes. Okay, now listen to this. Now the point that Jack pointed out. דין המצורע, שיהיה לו מושב לבדו חוץ לעיר. He has to have his own hot house outside of the community, שנאמר מחוץ למחנה מושבו. But here is the but. ודבר זה, בעיירות המוקפות חומה בארץ ישראל. This halacha that he has to be sent out of the community applies only in the cities. It used to be walled cities from the time of Yeshua.
So same as Purim.
Like Purim.
Yeah, same as the
Which means that in many new communities in Israel, you don't have to live in the community. You have to be alone. So over there, people see you. But you cannot have a social conversation with them. But basically, you are declaring, guys, look at me. In a minute, you'll see it's fascinating. Now look further. How about if she's a Joseph, once I spoke in a class, as it happened in a class of girls about the Shana. The girl says to me, Rabbi, everything we learn makes sense. But if we would follow it Friday night, we would sit mute at my table. She said it. Friday night, my father will make kiddush, and then we are mute till then.
There's nothing else to talk
Everyone
about.
was laughing. But this is the problem. This is exactly our problem.
You see what he did?
Wow.
You hear this?
She said unbelievable. Wow.
No,
It's true.
she said it because she was honest.
It's true.
Wow.
It's true.
Georgia,
Definitely.
Georgia, think about it. Your kids come to you. Someone's would you as a father say, stop, this is the Shabbat table? It takes guts
You don't
to
even mean it.
Well,
It's
sometimes
just-
Depends how bad it is, Rabbi. Depends how bad.
See,
If it's really bad, yeah, I'll stop it.
No, the worse it is, the more you want to talk about it, just the opposite.
you see what he said? If you read the real book, they tell you before Shabbat comes in, prepare what you would like to talk about. If you can say the Bret Torah, it's cute, it's good. Story, you want to talk about politics,
That's also Lashon Hara.
okay, but leave it for politics. Talk about sports if you like sports. But to talk about the neighbors or this,
Does the Lashon Hara apply to the boy?
what?
Apply to us on the boy?
If it's Lashon, I'm using an example now. If it's Lashon Hara and the president or others, if it's a common knowledge that everyone knows, you can
But that's even on the Jew,
You
though.
say what?
That's the same thing on the
It's the
Jew.
same.
Right.
But if
Lashon Hara is asur on everyone, correct? Look at Dafka.
it doesn't use the word
No,
Adam or brother.
but remember, it's a dirty language.
I understand. Sometimes the Torah uses certain words which makes it only for a Jew.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find a situation, I try to change the subject.
Rabbi Prague,
If
if you eat,
I just go to that
sorry,
and hopefully stop.
Yeah. Go ahead.
if you eat chametz on Pesach, you get karet. You gotta azhara, you get an onesh.
Right.
How come in Kedoshim, where it talks about Lashon Hara, it says Lo telech rachil b'amecha, then it should say it. But if you do, you're going to get mitzorah.
Correct, but
There's no link.
The answer is no. But this is the point. Since the Rambam just told us in Perek Yud This was only a period of time when the Jewish people were on a much higher level. I mean, you say today to people, in the time of the Chafetz Chaim was always speaking publicly. So someone told him, this is good. Let's publish a declaration signed by the greatest rabbis of each generation about how serious Lashon Hara is. And the rabbi says he wants to write in the declaration that speaking Lashon Hara is like eating non-kosher. So the Chafetz Chaim told him he's afraid people might start eating non-kosher.
Might as well.
No,
Let's go to McDonald's.
It's a very sad remark.
But you can go back to the Takanat Ezra, Takanat She'ein Adam Yachol Lamod Bo also.
The truth is, even if we redo, my wife had a very good friend, Alea Shalom Bemet, at the age of 52, whatever, she got cancer. She told my wife, she was a good friend. She says, I cut my Lashon Hara right away to him. No. She was realistic. Yeah. Again, no. She says to my wife, well, you take a declaration that I have cancer to do it. Yes. Yeah. But this is the point. The point is, see, Jojo, the trick is we cannot become completely safe, but there are tens of tens of thousands of women today who take regular lessons and they try as much. They try.
I tell people be realistic. A person wants to stop at least 1 hour a day. Set aside this one time for 1 hour in a day. Make sure that's once at least you discipline yourself to be.
Also, we could do the opposite. You should have 1 hour a day that you should talk Lashon Hara.
He says, take 1 hour to talk Lashon Hara. Only 1 hour you speak.
That's even better. Okay, get it all in.
Hakavata itim Lashon Hara.
Now, if
so we're in school, I remember we had like recess.
That was
a big deal. We ran around the schoolyard.
Open the Chumash. Now we go now to this week. We have a double haftarah and we have a question and everything we just learned. Look at the back of the Chumash and the haftarah of. Okay, this week we're going to have a different haftarah because it's Rosh Chodesh. But in a regular year, and two parashiyot. Two parashiyot, yes. Look at it. See, look at page 1172. Larry Bayutz Melachim Perak Bet, Melachim Bet Perak Zayin.
And two again? Oh wow.
Okay, look a second. You have it page 1172.
No. Yes, they are.
What page?
The holidays are early.
1172.
Everything's early this year.
Yep. Yeah. Right when we come back.
It's not on time.
Put it this way, everything is on the right time. We think it's early.
Last week of
וארבעה אנשים היו מצורעים פתח השער. 4 people, who are they? Gehazi, who was the right-hand man of Elisha the prophet, and he kicked him out. And the 3 children.
His 3 children?
Yes. Question number 1 is why are they together? We just learned that they're in seclusion.
And they are talking.
But each one, I thought they could all be together like in a leprosy camp.
No. Each one, the whole idea is you
can't talk.
You need time.
Oh wow!
You need time out.
I didn't catch that.
Joseph, each one has to be in a separate.
Solitary confinement.
More or less.
You are supposed to talk also, you said.
What?
You cannot talk also.
No, right. This is the point. You don't know. ויאמרו איש אל רעהו, מה אנחנו יושבים פה? Admatnu. Okay, the background, of course, is it was a tremendous famine. And since they are out of the town, they say basically we're going to die from starvation.
Might as well go in.
So what did they decide to do? אם אמרנו נבוא העיר והרעב בעיר, if we come into the town and the famine is there, ומתנו שם, we would die from starvation. ואם ישבנו פה, we stay here, die also. ועתה, לכו ונפלה על מחנה ארם. Let's go into the enemy camp. It was a huge mobilized army of Aram. If they would give us food,
you take a shot.
No loss.
Take a gamble.
Remember, there's a story. It's a very nice story, but this scenario is being used in halakha very much.
Yeah.
Well. Doctors say if the man is not undergoing the operation, he's dead in 3-4 weeks. If we operate, if we succeed, he would have a few years. If not, he would die within days. See, what is the option here? What is the option here? The option here is we are dead. We have one chance, which is let's go to the enemy camp.
And maybe
they might have mercy on us and give us food. Who says that you're allowed to do it? Yes. You don't know when you're going to die, but this is a Gemara. This is a question that rabbis are being asked very often.
Why don't they go to that town?
No, because they knew that there's no food for sure. And they have to be outside of town.
So I read an article, a doctor in Florida, man had his spleen removed. And the doctor, by mistake, took out the man's liver. And the patient died. Now they're putting the doctor on murder charges.
My God, you see.
Believe it?
How do you mistake a liver for a spleen? They don't look like each other.
One of my doctors in Boston told me, how many good doctors do you think are in Florida? I said, on a lot level basis, 0. What? He told me 0.
What does that mean?
No good doctors in Florida. That's what he says.
Of course, what he meant was...
I mean, they're not the highest level doctors in Florida. They're research.
Anyway, the story... Anyway...
They're not hospitals. Well, what's the reason for that?
The good hospitals attract the best doctors, I guess.
Not only that in Florida, you have so many old people, no one really knows what goes on with them, so no one is really supervising the doctors. This is exactly what
That's what I was thinking, because they're all old people.
Anyway, the point of the story is that as they enter the enemy camp, they realize that the enemy ran away and they left all the tents, all the food, because they thought that the Jews are attacking. This is a story. And they are coming now into town to tell everyone, come, we have a lot of food. This is a fascinating chapter. Now,
the question, why were they together?
Yeah, right. This is one question. So let's see a second, if we can see the story.
And why Petach HaSha'ar?
But this is exactly the point.
No,
they have to be legally outside of the town, but they cannot continue because there is an army camp of the enemy. So the story goes like this. Let's see a second. Okay, I'll tell,
my phone if you want.
I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story by heart in a minute. Gehazi is the right-hand man of Elisha, correct?
And he gets a terrible curse.
Correct. What happened to him? Naaman, who is a general, a goy, has leprosy. He comes to the prophet to be cured. And you have it in your book here. Look, 1171. Go to. Sorry, I forgot. Go to Melachim Perek. Melachim Bet Perek.
I know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you know the story. Fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, in the story, look at the bottom of the page.
At the end of the parak.
Prophet is telling him, goes deep 7 times in. And he starts to make fun.
Finally does it.
Right. His helpers are telling him, you traveled hundreds of miles. Look at Pasuk Yudaled. Vayered, Vayitbor Bayarden, 7 פעמים, he dipped 7 times. כדבר איש האלוקים, וישב בשרו כבשר נער קטן. Not only he was cured from a baby
skin.
Anyway, וישב אלישע האלוקים, he comes back to Elisha, ויאמר, and he makes a statement, הננה ידעתי כי אין אלוהים בכל הארץ. This is it, the Jewish God is a God. ועתה, קח נא ברכה מאת עבדיך. You cured me, I would like to pay you. ויאמר, please listen to this, is a prophet speaking. חי השם, he swears, אשר עמדתי לפניו, אם כך, I'm not taking anything. Obviously, why? Jews, why he did it to me? For money.
Yeah.
I did it to you to show you that the Jewish got fired. Anyway,
now.
Right, the language of the Gemara is that Naaman becomes here a ger toshav. He says, I'm accepting the Sheva mitzvot bnei Noach. Fine. Anyway, this part now is missing. After Naaman left, okay, so he refuses to take money and he goes back. Gehazi is chasing him and making up a story. Right after he left, a new student came. He needs some assistance. So my master said, and he gave him money. He gave him a jacket.
And he lies.
And he lies. When he comes back, Elisha is cursing him. B'tzarat Naaman.
Tidbak.
Chal bezarecha. Tidbak. Now. So this is
children.
What? His children. So this is the fourth. This is it's actually Elisha.
Yeah, but it's very similar to the Eli story because Eli's children and future generations get killed from it.
Now we have one more question to the story. We just saw in the Rambam only a walled city from the time of Yeshua. You have to be sent away. This city here is Shomron. Shomron is the capital city of Achav. This is not a walled city from a long time. Why are they outside of the community anyway? Says Rabbi Yochanan, he's a non-Jewish general. How did he get leprosy? He says there are two types of leprosy. Joseph's question is the spiritual leprosy that we don't see today. And there is a contagious disease called leprosy. Yes, it's a contagious disease called leprosy. He had a contagious disease. When Elisha is cursing Gehazi, you have the contagious, not the spiritual one. Oh. This is why they are together. All the words, it's a little upside, but this is they can be together. Nevertheless, they have to be outside. But it is contagious. It's contagious.
It's great.
Yeah, fair more than upside. Okay.
You always ask an actual question. How do the children? We have pasuk that says the children don't suffer from the father, but we hear that he's cursed.
Eli is asking if you remember tomorrow the question. We'll try to answer it, but we have to look at. We could take out all the Rambam Sefer Tahara.
Rabbi.
Yes.
So I wanted to tell you last night when I asked you the question, remember about Abel?
Yeah.
So I now remember where I got it from. 27 years ago, you taught Avelut after my father passed away. I don't know if you remember.
Wow.
My father's yortzeit is today, just so you know, remember it. And I think the answer is Miksat Hayom Kekulo. So I'm not sure, but
interesting question. His question was, what happened if someone played arbiter, let's say tonight, yes? Then he hears that his relative died 30 days ago. Is it considered a new day? If today the custom is Joseph. You never tell old people that you lost your mother. They cannot sit. You wait 30 days. After 30 days, you tell them they sit for half an hour. The person, today is the 30th day, let's say, that his brother died. He prayed a bit early.
What day is it for him?
Right. Is it like the 31st day? This was
what is the answer?
Jeffrey's question.
27 years ago you taught him.
Yes,
is it a new day?
But I'm pretty sure it's like a new day, but I told you that.
I think it has something to do with Miksat Hayom too. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm going to check it today, Jeffrey. Have a wonderful day.
Father Neshama should have an aliyah, Jeffrey.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Tonight, our friend the Kohen is making Seudat Odah. Which number?
I think it's my 17th.
It's 17th Seudat Odah. Me and my wife have the honor to attend each one. So tonight we will not have a class. Sorry.
Okay. Well, Kiflayim tomorrow. We'll have Kiflayim Latoshi Tushia.
Tonight will be my 80th Hebrew birthday.
So that,
Ronnie, make sure you tell everybody that you were my inspiration.
Please. Thank you, Jeremy. God bless you.
A
Jeremy.
great story for both.
no,
Thank
Baruch Hashem.
Huh.
So we are going to the Sulah tonight, and tonight it's in Rani's house,
Yeah.
not by his
My daughter, usually my daughter's making it in my house.
text it to the boy because she
Yeah.
comes always.
Yeah,
Boy
so-
comes early. I come
Yeah,
after
I was
my
gonna tell you,
class.
she wants to come with me. Our
420
kids-
Avenue T.
Yeah, so
I'll put it on the chat. Thank
I go
you.
with about this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day, everybody.
Wonderful day.
excellent. Thank you so much.
It's a milestone.